An old French lady came out, and then she saw me, a brown guy with a knife. This is a real life story. It happened in 2011. I was studying MBA and I had gone out for student exchange to Europe. And if you guys know that if you go out to Europe, you can get Eurail passes, which is basically Europe giving you cheap tickets. So, because you're an international student and €1 is some 10,000 rupees. So we got the Urail pass and we decided to go around and see Europe. And one of the first places we decided to visit was Amsterdam because, yeah, the museums are really. So we had a train from Paris to Amsterdam, and here's the thing about the Urail pass. It's cheap, but so are the seats. So we got one of those benches in which all five of us has to squeeze. Now it's an overnight journey. Uh, and I'm not someone who can just sit and sleep, right? Yeah. All my friends could, psychopaths in their indigo economy. But I could not, and I wanted to sleep because you know what? Next day, I didn't want to miss the tulip garden of Amsterdam. So, like any other Indian, I decided to do the most Indian thing, which is like, let me try and find an empty dabba. If there is an empty dabba, I can lie down. So I started walking, man. Looked at every dabba, all full. Everyone wants to go to the museum. Finally, I saw one empty dabba, and I was like, yes, yes, this is my chance. So I tried to open it was a sliding door. I tried to open it. It's not opening. I was a little disappointed. So then I started looking around because, as you all know, they generally leave the keys on the floor. So I started looking around. They don't leave the keys, guys. I didn't find the keys, but I found a butter knife. Now, here's the thing when you're looking for something, whatever you get, you have to use it. Else, what's the point of looking? So I was like, for all things, butter knife, but I have to use it. I have an image to keep. So I took the butter knife. Now, how do you use a butter knife to open a sliding door? You don't. So I didn't know what to do. I just started putting in the gap and just tried twice. And of course, it didn't work. So I was like, not my day. And I was about to walk back. The dustbin was on the other end. I was about to go and throw it in the dustbin. This is 1 a.m. at night. At that point of time, just when I started walking, from one of those middle dabbas, an old French lady came out. She knew Gandalf. That's how old she. बचपन में साथ में पढ़ा था. She used to call Gandalf Gandu. So the washroom was behind where I was standing. And then she saw me, a brown guy with a knife. It was a butter knife, but she's too old. So her eyesight it's not that great, right? I mean, now she saw me, she got scared because, of course, I'm a terrorist, right? So she saw me and she yelled. Basically, Buddhi ki, I don't know if I mentioned, she was very old, okay? She was so old that she had memories of a time when she had memories of a time. That's how. So she saw me and she yelled, okay? But she yelled like this. She wanted to go, but she's old. So her mouth went, but there was just one. It was like, I was like, kamar ya lachak gayi. Right? And then, as fast as she could, she just went back inside the dabba like a nice 8-bit Mario character. Now, at that point of time, I was like, मेरे से कौन डरते थे? Yeah. But while she was going back, she just opened the sliding door. There was a latch she opened and she went inside. I'm like, oh, that's how you open it. But then I was like, you know what? I have a butter knife, which is, I have to throw it in the garbage because cleanliness. So I walked all the way, amused to myself, and the dustbin was on the other side. So I went to throw. I put it inside the dustbin, still laughing at myself. क्या डरा है यार बुड्ढी को? French buddhi. And at that point of time, suddenly the train stopped. Now we were not in a station. We just left the station. The train stopped somewhere in between. And then the train started going back in reverse. I didn't even know trains could do that. Well, driver उधर से भागा क्या उधर तक? The trains went back and stopped in a station which we had just left. And I was just looking out as to what is happening. हो क्या रहा है यहाँ पर? Then I saw four huge French cops, like really in a hurry, and they were just coming and they were just looking at every dabba and they had something in their hand. They were just mapping, and then they came into the compartment that I was in. They came in, they walked past me, and then they knocked on the door of the French old lady. That bitch. She told on me, man. She told on me. And now I am here, who's excited about Amsterdam. Suddenly I'm scared that I'm going to be arrested. It's 1:30 a.m. Who's going to believe me? That old lady came out, and the cop said something in French, blah, 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 and I don't understand French. I took Sanskrit. So so she came out and decided to look in the direction where I was because, of course, I would not move. Which terrorist moves unless the job is done? So she and the French cops were like, come on, can you just hurry up, man? She moved and she saw in that direction where I was there before. I wasn't there, of course. And she was like, ah. And then she moved to the other direction. And there I was standing. It took me so much time to process that I am the man they're looking for. And she looked at me and she pointed like, this is the guy. Now these three cops, huge cops, they came charging towards me and they stopped right in front of me and they said something in French. But I'm sure it wasn't pleasant, right? They sounded angry. They were like, you are a very fine gentleman. I'm sure that's not what they said. They said something, so I was like, okay, English, please, English. I was like, you have knife? And I did. I reacted the way we Indians react to any foreigner in their land, any white person. अरे गलत फहमी हो गया ये तो अले रे तो I was like, no, it's a butter knife. And I don't think so. The English was good. She was like, knife? No, butter knife. I'm like, oh. I was like, come with me. So I took them to the trash can, put my hand inside, removed the butter knife, and then showed it to them. Like this. Like, yeah, this is not a butter knife because eco-friendly. Yeah, but you get the drift, right? So this is what I did. And they were just staring at me at that point of time. And then after 10 seconds, one of the cops burst out into laughter. The other two still didn't get it. Then he was like, blah, 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 blah. And then all of them started laughing. Sorry, we are at spoken. All of them started doing. And at that point in time, I had some relief, Finally, I was like, wow. Because I was too scared at that point of time. Then they walked to of course, the vintage collection. Dude, she was racist, okay? So she walked and then they walked towards a 300-year-old lady and told her in French, whatever, like, it's a butter knife, just go and why are you going to Amsterdam? But she was still scared, right? She was still scared, right? The next day morning, moment my friends woke up, I was very excited to tell them, मैंने बुड्ढी डराया. क्या बुड्ढी डराया? French बुड्ढी डराया. And they were also very excited, like, हमको देखना है, बुड्ढी, हमको देखना है. So we waited. I don't think so. She peed at all, the whole night. So she waited. So we waited, sorry. And everyone got down. And then she came out. She turned right. She saw me again. I looked at her and I went, No, no, I didn't. Because she's anyways going to die anyway. But I have to tell you this, everyone here, I have to tell you this. That was a very, it's a life changing moment for me, life changing experience, right? And I want to say this out loud. Dear old French lady, wherever you are, thanks to you, I had a moment of my life when I made three French cops laugh. And that was my first stand up comedy performance. So thank you, lady. Listen, that's my time. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, guys. Bye bye.